How to visualize and pray for the accomplishments. How to pray. Visualize the qualities of the Vajra body. Dancing in effortless bliss and emptiness with supreme and ordinary mudras, an assembly of Vajra warrior dakas and dakinis attract and magnetize. Remaining always within the state of great equality of appearance and emptiness, the dances of their Vajra bodies shake the three realms of existence. This verse means that because the magnetizing deities have accomplished all supreme and ordinary mudras, they have the ability to display dances in Dharmadhatu. The dance itself is a manifestation of the non-duality of appearance and emptiness. Residing in the great equality of the perfect union of appearance and emptiness, the dancing of innumerable Vajra bodies caused the three realms of existence to shake. Here the word mudra contains many layers of meaning. In this stanza, it should be interpreted as quality and accomplishment. Vajradakas indicate the male Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, namely Amitabha, Avalokiteshvara, Hayagriva, while Vajradakinis indicates the female Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, such as Vajravarahi, Guyajnana, etc. Each sentient being has their own predisposition and capacity. To benefit sentient beings of different dispositions, enlightened beings manifest as dakas and dakinis. The reason they can assume different forms is due to the fact that the nature of phenomena is the inseparability of appearance and emptiness. Otherwise, this would be impossible to achieve, regardless of how powerful they are. Dance is a figurative term, which in this case refers to the manifestation of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. For instance, Avalokiteshvara can manifest in 32 different forms. Hayagriva sometimes appears with one face and two arms, and sometimes with one face and four arms, and so on. The deities assume different appearances in front of sentient beings, much like a skillful dancer performing different dances for his or her audience. Shaking the three realms of existence means benefiting sentient beings in the three realms of existence. The magnetizing deities manifest themselves in various ways to accommodate the perception of sentient beings in the worlds of desire, form, and formlessness. It should be noted that although the text only mentions 9 magnetizing deities, in reality, there are countless magnetizing deities, each with an unlimited number of manifestations. For instance, though some deities may manifest with skin that is red in color, they may also manifest themselves as white or as green, and so on. So, to visualize and merge with the Vajra bodies of the magnetizing deities, you should first understand the enlightened qualities of their bodies. In the realm of Dharmadhatu that has no boundaries, the magnetizing deities display countless manifestations that cause the three realms to tremble, captivating sentient beings of the three realms and granting them temporary well-being and ultimate enlightenment. Visualize the qualities of the Vajra speech. The sounds of laughter of your unimpeded speech reaches the three worlds. You radiate red lights that spread throughout samsara and nirvana, luminous essence of existence and cessation. Do you tremble and gather? The basic meaning of the verse. Vajra speech is a very broad term. In a narrow sense, it means the sound that the magnetizing deities make. In a broader sense, it means the sound of earth, water, fire, wind, and the sounds of all sentient beings. It can be said that all sound is the Vajra speech of the magnetizing deities. The magnetizing deities' Vajra speech makes the sounds of laughter, such as ha-ha, hee-hee, hey-hey, and ho-ho. With these sounds, they summon beings of the three realms. They are particularly able to call forward and subdue the demonic beings of the three realms. Existence indicates deluded beings' three impure states of existence in samsara. Cessation indicates enlightened beings' pure states in nirvana. Luminous essences indicates the essences of the four elements of the inanimate world and the essences of living beings, such as the qualities of compassion and wisdom. The last two lines indicate that the mantra wheels at the throat or heart of the magnetizing deities radiate red light, which shines upon every corner of samsara and nirvana, vibrating and calling forth all the vital essences of both mundane and supermundane phenomena. The essence of all worldly and non-worldly existence, magnetizing has a wondrous effect. Through the practice of magnetizing, the essence and merit of all worldly and supreme existence is gathered and dissolved into one's own mind stream. For example, if you lack wisdom, through the practice of magnetizing you can gain it. Of course, magnetizing is different from what certain non-Buddhist sects describe as harvesting energy. Some people believe that the reason that they are particularly skinny is because their chi has been sucked away by someone else. This, however, is not what magnetizing means. Although you will benefit from the magnetizing practice, no harm will be inflicted on others. Similarly, if we light a candle and hold it in our hand, its flame will not cause any other candle to be extinguished. There is no need to mystify magnetizing. Worldly things can have very similar magnetizing effects. For example, some people are seduced by love, social status, wealth, fine food, and so on. Similar to the art of magnetizing, these are also means to entice people. However, one must be aware that Buddhists do not magnetize for personal acquisition of fame or power, but rather for the welfare of sentient beings. You cannot benefit sentient beings if you lack the necessary powers of enticement. Some lamas possess qualities of wisdom, compassion, and eloquence, but seem to have great trouble expanding their religious influence. In spite of being very motivated to benefit beings, they fail to gather disciples around them. This is because they have not mastered the activity of magnetizing. A person who has accomplished the art of magnetizing will spontaneously captivate others wherever he goes. Therefore, if you wish to benefit sentient beings, not only should you possess the qualities of wisdom, precepts, and noble character, you should also be skilled in magnetizing. Visualize the qualities of the Vajra mind. With your enlightened mind of great Vajra passion, you bestow the twofold victorious accomplishments. With your Vajra iron hooks and lassoes, you bind all that appears and exists in supreme bliss. Great Vajra passion. The magnetizing deities, utilizing the great Vajra passion of their enlightened minds, bestow all the supreme and ordinary siddhis that sentient beings desire. With their Vajra iron hooks and lassoes, they bind the world of appearance and existence in the wisdom of great bliss. Great Vajra passion means the wisdom of discernment that is transformed from lust, and it is a commonly used term in Vajrayana. In chanting the names of Manjushri, it is written, Vajra passion, great passion. Passion in its ordinary sense is a kind of attachment. If you haven't realized the nature of your own mind, you can become entangled by it. When you have realized the primordial nature of the mind, passion is transcended into great Vajra passion, which does not cause harm to oneself or to others. The same principle applies to the transcendence of anger, ignorance, and so on. As soon as you understand the true nature of these things, they can be turned into untainted wisdom. The relationship between mental afflictions and wisdom has also been addressed by certain Mahayana sutras that convey the ultimate meaning. In the sutra requested by Kashyapa, it says, just as poison can be transformed into an elixir by the power of mantras, with creative means, passion can be transformed into wisdom. Ordinary beings are constantly bound by desire and constantly wanting something or someone, which causes a substantial degree of mental suffering. Such suffering is caused by not understanding the nature of the mind. If through pith instructions you can understand the true nature of your mind, then all suffering and pain will dissolve into Dharmadhatu. Therefore, everybody should devote his or her best efforts to realizing the true nature of the mind. Vajra hooks and lassoes, the magnetizing deities hold in their hands tools like iron and copper hooks, lotus lassoes, etc. This can sometimes be misinterpreted. The magnetizing deities do not literally hook, tie up, and pull their subjects toward them like fishermen. You must understand that these instruments are merely symbolic of the deity's power to compel and enchant their subjects. The implicit power of magnetizing can create skepticism among some. In reality, when a person who has never been interested in Buddhism meets a lama, he is often immediately captured by the hook of his compassion and wants to take refuge in the three jewels, and ultimately becomes a person who is of benefit to Buddhism. This is the force of magnetizing. When we interpret the Dharma, it is important that we hold the right view. For example, the sword in the hand of Bodhisattva Manjushri is not used to harm or kill, but is a symbol for the wisdom with which he eradicates the ignorance of sentient beings. The lotus blossom in Avalokiteshvara's hand is a symbol for his residing in samsara while remaining untainted by its defilements, much like the lotus that sprouts from the mud but whose blossom remains pristine. Therefore, the objects that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas carry are not random, but are all symbols that each give rise to a specific karmic origination. One important thing that needs to be understood is that magnetizing is a practice for the purpose of benefiting sentient beings. When benefiting sentient beings, Bodhisattvas magnetize those who are drowning in the depths of samsara by using their wisdom and compassion. Bodhisattvas dissolve sentient beings' minds into their wisdom of great bliss, transforming them from an untamed and rigid state into one of being docile and capable. Eventually, sentient beings are guided to realize the true nature of their minds. The practice of Wang. Because of the aforementioned reasons, we should practice magnetizing with diligence. When you chant and practice Wang, you can follow the instructions of the common or advanced tantric practices. Of course, uninitiated practitioners or practitioners who are foreign to tantric practice can practice Wang using the Sutrayana method. Mipham Rinpoche did not require people to strictly practice this prayer in the way of the generation or perfection stages. As long as we pray to the magnetizing deities with devotion, all animate and inanimate worlds will resonate. This will allow the essence of samsara and nirvana to be gathered into oneself. For people who are new to Dharma practice, the practice of magnetizing would definitely be of benefit. In this degenerate age, people have difficulty truly absorbing the Dharma because they lack inner strength. Their path in learning the Dharma is filled with obstacles. If you are one of these people, by practicing magnetizing, you will develop inner strength and be able to bring the Dharma into your mind more easily. Then, no matter what kind of obstacle you encounter, you will be capable of handling it. If you want to accomplish magnetizing, you should first establish a connection with the magnetizing deities, which is to say that you should merge your body, speech, and mind with theirs. To merge with the deities' Vajra bodies, Buddhist masters visualize their own body as the body of the magnetizing deity. This is the most effective method. If you are unfamiliar with such advanced practices, an alternative would be to carry the image of the 9 deities with you and to make offerings to them. In terms of speech, you should recite the mantra of the 9 deities often, and Wang in particular. The Wang prayer consists of the Vajra words of Mipham Rinpoche. Reciting them even once brings forth vast merit. When you recite Wang, it is best to visualize as you chant. You can visualize a boundless red light emanating from the magnetizing deities, shining upon all sentient beings and benefiting them with the Dharma. You don't need to get too complicated with your visualization. Some people's imagination is overly active. They create unnecessary details in their visualization and may imagine a red lotus flower blossoming from the heart center of the magnetizing deities with a Hri on top in red letters, emanating light, and so forth. even though there is no description such as this in the sadhana. In terms of mind, you can visualize that your mind is inseparable from the wisdom of the magnetizing deities. Then you can observe the nature of your mind, directly understanding that the magnetizing deities are exactly the nature of your mind at this present moment. There are no other magnetizing deities apart from your own mind at this moment. If you can meditate like this, you will be able to swiftly and truly merge with the magnetizing deities. The reason is as below. The minds of sentient beings are no different from that of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Ignorant of this fact, people cling to the notion that they and the Buddhas are separate entities. The different levels of practice in Buddhism are designed to break such a discriminating notion. First, one visualizes oneself and the Buddha figure in a vertical relationship like that between a disciple and a lama. Then, in a more advanced stage of practice, we visualize that we are the equals of the Buddha figure, like the relationship that exists between friends. Last, we visualize that we are no different from the Buddha figure, like water that is poured into water. Through such a visualization practice, we can eventually perceive our minds as the same as that of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It is very important to follow the gradual steps of visualization. Training our minds, much like refining gold, is a gradual process. Pray for the accomplishments, dancers in the play of a boundless web of illusions, who fill space to overflowing like a vast outpouring of sesame seeds, to the countless three roots, deities of magnetizing activity. Devoutly, I pray for your blessing to come down. May you grant me all of my heart's desires, the supreme and common siddhis. May you grant me the accomplishment of unobstructed magnetizing activity, an infinity of magnetizing deities. A boundless web of illusions describes an infinity of magnetizing deities in Dharmadhatu. When describing the mandalas in Vajrayana Buddhism, we often count Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in units of hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and billions. These numbers are figurative. In reality, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are innumerable. In the limitless Dharmadhatu abide innumerable Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The Amitabha Sutra states that there are countless Buddhas in each direction. 9 is only a symbolic number for the countless magnetizing deities. A vast outpouring of sesame seeds illustrates just how many magnetizing deities there are. The magnetizing deities inhabit and fill all of space, one next to the other, conveying an image that is very much like an open sesame pod full of sesame seeds. Relatively speaking, magnetizing deities reside in the West. Ultimately, however, they reside in every direction. Even in the tiniest molecule, there abides countless numbers of magnetizing deities. We must keep an open mind when learning about Dharma. Only by doing so can we understand its incredible breadth. Even the common vehicle teachings depict states of infinity. For example, the 16 arhats that protect Buddha Shakyamuni's Dharma each possess both a limitless worldly and transcendent entourage. Pray for achieving accomplishments. To the countless three roots, deities of magnetizing activity, devoutly I pray for your blessing. In praying to the Buddhas, the more devout we are, the stronger the blessings we receive. We should be so invested in our prayers that our hairs stand on end and tears stream from our eyes. Of course, it goes without saying that such devotion should be long-lasting. Some people are strongly motivated by the Dharma in the beginning, but when their initial enthusiasm cools, they grow more and more indifferent and unable to appreciate the merit of the three jewels and the Guru. Though indifferent when hearing about the sufferings of samsara, they brighten up immediately when the subject of delicious food comes up. This is not ideal, and we should develop a lasting conviction towards the Dharma over a preference for delicious food. May I be granted all of my heart's desires, the supreme and common siddhis. The supreme siddhi here indicates transcendent qualities such as the fruit of Buddhahood. The ordinary siddhi refers to the 8 worldly accomplishments: increased wealth, good health, longevity, and so on. These days, it seems as though most people practicing Buddhism are rarely looking for supreme siddhis, with most after ordinary benefits that can be useful in this life. One thing that Khenpo reminds everyone of is that when one befriends a very powerful person, one should ask him to help only with the most important issues. Trivial matters are not worthy of their time. Similarly, when reciting Wang Du, if you are not looking for supreme benefits, but instead recite it for the ordinary purpose of dressing better, eating better, or sleeping better, this is not a worthwhile reason. For those who have received the Mahayana teachings, these worldly qualities are as unreal as dreams and illusions. Regardless of how rich, how famous, or how high on the social ladder you are, everything will fall apart eventually. If you need more proof, just look at history. Worldly prosperity is transitory. Only transcendent merits have ultimate value. Therefore, we should seek transcendent qualities. Of course, there are many kinds of transcendent qualities. Each one of us has his or her own wish. Whatever you wish for, as long as you are diligent in your prayers, your wishes will come true. Wang Du is the true wish-fulfilling jewel. If you recite this prayer diligently, not only will you gain all the qualities that you wish for, you can also remove all obstacles from your path. However, if you are faced with unavoidable karmic retribution that is the result of actions from previous lives, it would be difficult to expect immediate removal of such obstacles. Once Khenpo was asked whether Buddhas and Bodhisattvas could save people from every kind of distress. If not, the questioner asked, then what is the use of praying? Khenpo told him, when given the same dosage of the same medication, some patients are cured of their illness and others are not. Because the medication has no effect on some people, should it be rejected entirely? The same is true for the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Nobody says that they can solve each and every problem of every sentient being. The intricacies of karmic effect are extremely complex. By relying on the blessings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, some problems can be immediately solved, but other problems might not be. For problems such as these, praying is still the way that we can do our best. Therefore, when we recite Wang Du, we are best advised to heed the teaching of His Holiness. May the blessings of the magnetizing deities allow me to possess the quality of the trainings throughout all future lives. Bless me so that I can benefit sentient beings through compassion in life after life, or those of Samantabhadra. With this merit, may I crush all mental afflictions, perfect all beneficial qualities, and benefit all sentient beings. Ending, the background of composition. This was composed on the first day of the 7th month of the Earth Hare year, 1879, by one named D. Anyone who prays in this way will, without any doubt, accomplish all magnetizing activities exactly according to their wishes. This prayer may be written on red flags and flown in the air, or used in prayer wheels powered by heat or wind. Mangalam. The achievements of chanting this prayer. This text was written by Mipham Rinpoche in 1879, when he was 34 years old. D is the seed letter of Manjushri and is the name by which Mipham Rinpoche refers to himself in this text. It is made very clear here that not only accomplished masters, but anyone who prays in this way will accomplish magnetizing activities. His Holiness, Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche, also said, only people with sharp faculties can reach enlightenment by the profound tantric practices. Ordinary people might not succeed, but Mipham Rinpoche's Wang Du is different. As long as you have faith in the 9 magnetizing deities, anybody can accomplish magnetizing activities. Hanging up red prayer flags of Wang Du. When His Holiness was with us, Prayer flags with Wang printed on them were flying on every roof in Larong. Nowadays, one can easily find Wang flags in Tibetan areas. Even in some big cities in Han areas, people have the walls of their homes covered with Wang prayer flags. This is an auspicious origination. Khenpo Sodargye advises everyone to recite Wang diligently in the future and to hang up many Wang prayer flags. This will help in spreading the Dharma and also benefit local sentient beings. Many people today are suffering from paranoia, worry, and depression. If you can recite Wang or hang up Wang prayer flags, your body and mind can enjoy greater freedom, and happiness will spontaneously arise in you. Be careful when hanging prayer flags. It is best to hang them somewhere high off the ground, such as a rooftop or on a mountain. Don't hang them in your yard where people come in and out. Prayer flags are no different from the deities themselves. If they are hung in an inappropriate place and people step over them, this would be a considerable mistake. Before you hang up the flags, they must be consecrated. If you can't find someone to consecrate them for you, sprinkle some rice left over from a previous consecration ceremony. If you don't have that either, recite the mantra of dependent origination 7 times, which also counts as consecration. Turning prayer wheels of Wang. It has also been explained by Mipham Rinpoche that apart from being made into prayer flags, Wang can also be made into prayer wheels powered by wind or fire. This will also help in accomplishing magnetizing activities. Of course, we can also make prayer wheels with Wang prayers that are hand-spun. Incidentally, there is a specific protocol to follow when making prayer wheels. You should not make prayer wheels without consulting the sutra reference. His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche once commented, "When some people get hold of the mantra of a Buddha, they immediately put it in a prayer wheel. This is unreasonable. If you want to make prayer wheels, it would be good to make them with the Mani mantra, because numerous scriptural evidences tell us that prayer wheels made with the Mani mantra are extremely beneficial." Not long before His Holiness passed away, he repeatedly instructed his students to turn the prayer wheels often, and he said with a strong sense of assertion that when a person is about to die, even if there is no one to recite prayers for them, as long as they have a prayer wheel next to them, they will not fall into the lower realms. Anyway, we can make Wang widely known by means of prayer flags or prayer wheels. In this way, not only would our own body and mind become freer with many of our obstacles removed, but it will also help the Dharma to become more prosperous. The practice of magnetizing at Laronggar. Some dismiss this magnetizing activity as nothing more than a myth or a fiction, but the very example of His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche demonstrates how tangible the effects of magnetizing can be. All of his many great accomplishments would not have been possible without his accomplishment of the art of magnetizing. The very fact that so many people come to Laronggar for Dharma study and practice is the result of his magnetizing activity. No one would come and settle in this freezing land of snow for no reason. As Khenpo Sodargye said in his teaching, I have personally experienced the effect of magnetizing on myself. Each time I go on a trip, I miss Larong very much. As soon as I finish my business, I am eager to head straight back. This is inseparable from His Holiness magnetizing activity. So this is a true reflection of the power of magnetizing. At Laronggar, we practice magnetizing every year at the Dharma Assembly of the Awareness Holders. During this time of the year, the mantra of the 9 deities will be chanted by the full Sangha for half a month. Such a practice taking place in such a large assembly is extremely powerful. Khenpo Sodargye once half-joked about shortening the duration of the Dharma assembly, lest the Larong Valley run out of room for people to sit. Before His Holiness passed away, he said, In the future, if my disciples recite Wang often, the heart transmissions of the Guru will continue. In Bodhikaryavattara, there is a story about a celestial being who cured a disease caused by the Nagas by building a large Garuda tower. Many years after this celestial being had passed away, people still circumambulated the stupa to cure the disease caused by Nagas. Similarly, even if you have never seen His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok personally, by practicing Wangdu, you can still receive the blessings of his mind transmission. When you have received his mind transmission, your own suffering will be dispelled, and whatever kind of obstacle you encounter, you will face it with more ease and poise. You will be happy in your present life, and it goes without saying, in your future life as well. Since 2011, Khenpo Sodarge has aspired to concentrate on practicing magnetizing activity. He said, "My motivation is simple. His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok had completely mastered the enlightened activity of magnetizing. I dare not say I want to achieve the same level of mastery as His Holiness, but as his disciple, I should at least follow the steps of the activities that he has created. As a disciple of a guru who has mastered the art of magnetizing, it does not seem right to neglect this practice. As His Holiness' disciple, I must endeavor with all my efforts to continue his traditions." So in recent years, Khenpo Sodarge again and again encourages his student to recite Wangdu 10,000 times as a short-term target of their Dharma practice and an aspiration of contributing Khenpo's activities of spreading the Dharma.